Today, we are here with a couple predictions for Misfits 20. Two fights specifically I want to talk about here, and that is the co-main event and the main event. Let's get right into this co-main event. The fight I am most looking forward to on the card, I think the most anticipated fight of the night, that's Wade Plem versus the Masai Warrior. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name, not 100% sure.
Messiah, no one's talking to you. We're talking to the people that matter up here, so just sit there and say thank you for being on the card.
Wade Plem, probably the biggest name in influencer boxing for someone who has not fought in it. Has covered this scene since the beginning, the biggest commentary channel, always been rumors on if he's going to step into the scene himself, and that day has finally come, and there's a lot of risk with taking that decision because you are the guy who breaks down other fighters' footage, points out what they're doing wrong, where they can improve. To do that as someone who is not a fighter themselves is fine. I do a lot of that on my channel as well. But when you take that leap and go into the ring yourself, you know that if you lose, there's gonna be a lot of people talking. And I think that just helps with the build up to this fight overall. Everyone waiting to see what Wade can do in there. The question is, can Wade Plem implement what he has learned over the years into his own fight? What is my answer to that question? I think he'll have enough to get the job done. I think this is definitely a step down from his previous opponent, the fight that was supposed to be happening, HS Tiki Taki versus Wade Plem. I think that was a much more difficult opponent, and this is definitely bringing the level down for where he probably should be for his debut. From what I can tell, he is taking training very seriously, has been dedicated to this. This is all that's on his mind. He's been out there with BJ Flores as his coach, the previous coach of Jake Paul, and the whole team over there seems to believe that he is ready, and I believe them. The Masai Warrior, don't know too much about him, so he could come through with the upset. And I do say upset. I know guys like Mams Taylor and KSI and then Wade Plem going all in that triangle of despise. KSI and Mams Taylor are saying, oh, he's going to knock you out. Wade's not ready. Wade's saying this is a setup for the company to take him out and he's going to go in there and ruin everyone's plans. I think from the community itself, they think that Wade's going to go in there and get the victory. I know that Mams and KSI are saying otherwise, but I also kind of think deep down they know that he's going to win too and hopefully make this a bigger buildup for the HS Tiki Taki fight in the future. I've seen some clips here and there of the Masai Warrior. I don't think he's dedicated himself as much as Wade has over these last few months, and I don't think he's going to be ready. I don't think this is going to get done in one round, but I don't see this fight going the distance either. I think we're going to see a second round stoppage. I think Wade's going to come out, feel it out at first, start opening up towards the end of the first round, and in the second, really turn it on, look for that finish, and find it. Hop on the mic, call out HS most likely, and maybe a few other big names, because if he does win, this opens a lot of doors for him in the future. If this is something he wants to continue, I think it is, but not for the longest time, so he's going to want to get the big names out there quickly. So that is my prediction. I think he's going to have enough. I think he's put in the work. Now let's talk about this main event real quick. A fight that wasn't supposed to happen. Step-in opponent with Anthony Taylor. You know he's game to fight anyone. Darren Till versus Anthony Taylor. Originally supposed to be Darren Till versus Tommy Fury. A much more exciting fight, in my opinion. I think the back and forth would have been a lot funnier. I think the build-up would have been a lot more noticeable. I haven't really seen much. For Darren Till, this is a rough fight. Anthony Taylor is a tough guy to fight. He fights scrappy. He's annoying in there. He knows what to do to get the victory. And you really don't get much from beating him. He doesn't really have the biggest name. He's a tough opponent to beat. And I think that's why the only way Darren Till's ever fighting him is as a step-in opponent last minute. And I think that's why a ton of these influencers don't want to fight Anthony Taylor anymore because of what he did to guys like King Kenny and Salt Poppy, not even in an exciting fashion. But he dominated those fights. He bullied them. He clinched. He got the victory. but his name recognition still really isn't there. In the little Misfits community that is growing in the influencer scene, people know of Anthony Taylor, they have respect for him. But in the greater picture of combat sports, guys like KSI, Jake Paul, even Salt Poppy, Anthony Taylor is not in those discussions. So I think that even if you do beat him, it doesn't do as much for your career as other big fights would. Guys like Slim and Gibb fighting each other, you get so much more out of that than fighting a guy like Anthony Taylor. Darren Till, not as much experience in boxing. Coming into this fight, very out of shape before his training camp. I'm sure he's taken his training pretty seriously, but before this, he's kind of just been chilling. Anthony Taylor has been active. He's been dedicated to boxing for a long time now. Has had a lot of fights. Darren Till hasn't, right? If you're talking MMA, who had the better career in MMA? Not even close. Darren Till way better. But this is boxing now, and Anthony Taylor has been dedicated to this. He's shown where his skill level is at, and I think it's going to show here on this night. I think that Anthony Taylor is going to put on the pressure, overwhelm Darren Till. I think Darren's going to land a couple big shots, but I don't think the activity is going to be there. I think that Anthony Taylor is going to be the much more active fighter, a lot more pressure, and I think he's going to win a decision victory because it's very hard to knock out Anthony Taylor. At least that's my belief from what I've seen from these influencers. Even his fight against Tommy Fury, it's hard to put him away, and I don't think Darren Till has the skill set to do that. Maybe he will have the power to do that because I think he's going to throw some big time shots, but he's going to be more selective with those shots and when to throw. So unless I'm just doubting the power and the power's there to put him away, I think Anthony Taylor is going to win a decision victory. Those are my two predictions. That's all we got for today. Not as interested in the other fights this time around. And that's okay. I'm going to be watching anyway. We'll do a full breakdown of the card afterwards. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys for watching. Who do you think wins these fights? Did I get this one right? Or do you disagree? Let me know. Subscribe for more combat sports updates, content, reactions. The support is much appreciated. Almost to our goal of 500 subscribers. I'll see you next time. Peace.